If you have a student going into 5th grade this coming year and you're looking for homeschooling curriculum for language arts, stick around. I'm going to show you everything that we're planning on using this coming year, 2024-2025, for my 5th grader. So my daughter is going into grade 5 this coming year, and we have used the Well-Trained Mind pretty much for all of her language arts, except for one year where we switched to the Good and the Beautiful because we just couldn't help but try it out and see if it was a good fit. And we ended up going back to the Well-Trained Mind. Now, this past year, we have been using the Alviary, except for language arts and a few other subjects. We've been sort of partially using it for a lot of our subjects, but we were still using our Well-Trained Mind curriculum because I had bought it all and I didn't want it to go to waste. But this coming year, I was planning on switching to the Alviary. But what I found was my children are really thriving in what we are using for language arts. Now, the Alviary was recommending Michael Clay Thompson. And when I looked at the grade level that they were recommending for grade 5, my daughter was just way beyond it because we have been doing grammar and language arts since grade 1. So I thought, well, I could look ahead to see what Michael Clay Thompson is doing for older years, but then I wasn't sure what level to start her at and all of those things. And I have no experience with Michael Clay Thompson. I did look at a few reviews, but I wouldn't even know at what point to start her in. And I thought, well, why am I going to stop using the Well-Trained Mind? Because it has worked so well for us. So we are going to continue with the Well-Trained Mind, but let me show you what they do and what they do for grammar and for all of language arts. So for grammar, we are going to be doing First Language Level 4. Now this is their grade 4 program. Well, it's their level 4 program. It doesn't necessarily mean grade 4, but it could correlate for grade 4 if you were starting as early as grade 1. Now, because we did the Good and the Beautiful 1 year in grade 3, I did not want to skip first language lessons because it does move progressively through all of the things. And by grade 4, they are doing some quite extensive diagramming, sentence diagramming. So that may be something that you're not familiar with, but there's a lot of things in here where it gets quite in depth. And that if we skipped First Language Level 3 to go into 4 this past year, it probably would have not been a good idea. So we're going to be doing Level 4. This is the teacher's guide, and this is the student workbook. So what we do is my daughter will sit at the table with me. She has her workbook, and then I have my script. And I am asking her questions and she is following along and answering in her workbook. And they're going through lots of they review at first all the different parts of speech. So they're gonna go through and talking through forming plural nouns, proper nouns, pronouns, but they kind of really zoom through those things. And they will again review really every single parts of speech. Simple and complete subjects and predicates and prepositional phrases and all of these different things, forming very well structured grammatical sentences and sentence diagramming. Now, if sentence diagramming is something that's unfamiliar to you, let me just show you what that might look like. There's an example here. And I find that it really is helpful to know how to sentence diagram because it really helps you understand sentence structure in reading and writing and being able to put together a well-structured sentence. And I find Olivia finds it fun. She enjoys doing all these kinds of sentence diagramming. And so I will have the answer key, and in her workbook, she will be doing that independently. Now she has been doing in First Language Level 3, there is sentence diagramming, but they have like the tree all structured out for you, and they're not doing it completely independently, whereas in Level 4, they will be doing it more completely on their own. They also do poetry memorization. There's also dictation and copy work And the dictation sentences get progressively a little longer and longer with each first language lessons level. But the lessons, they're still not overwhelming. It's still, there's lots and lots of review. They do go back and help you gradually build up towards the end, where each student will feel very confident in their structure, their sentence structure and grammar. So this would be a lesson here. It's a scripted lesson. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pages that you would read along with your student, ending with this dictation sentence here. And that would be one lesson. I would say they take us, now she'll be in grade 5. It takes us probably about, sometimes as short as a 15-minute lesson to about 20-minute lesson. At the most, but it's hard to say. Yeah, 15 to 20 minutes for grammar. So she was doing Writing with Ease 3 this year, and on the Well-Trained Minds website, it says that if you're doing Writing with Ease 3 and your student is doing it very well, they're very confident in it and they were successful, that you don't have to do Writing with Ease 4. It's really, again, not in any more depth. It's just more practice if you're not feeling confident with Writing with Ease 3. If they did Writing with Ease 3 and they found that it was easy, they were doing well, they were successful at it, then you could move to Writing with Skill Level 1. So Writing with Skill Level 1 is going to be focusing on outlining. The Well-Trained Mind talks about, so outlining now is beginning in the logic stage, which is grade 5. And in outlining, you are learning how to model. You are modeling excellent writing by outlining, and it helps a student see all the different components and the most important parts of a passage so that they can later then go in and with that outline. So if you were to say, this happened first, and next this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened in an outline, if you just show them the outline, they could then go and write out the whole composition, almost word for word, because they have such a great outline. So outlining is an important part of writing. That is a big step and a big portion of what Writing with Skill does. And Writing with Skill goes up to level 3. So this is the first level. So we will be doing this for writing, will be a big portion of our writing program for grade 5 in 2024-2025. The next part of our writing is going to be something a little different. My daughter loves creative writing, and outlining, this is really meant more for nonfiction. You could use it for fiction as well, but it's really intended more for nonfiction, for writing reports, for reading something and being able to write a report, a history paper, a science paper, geography paper. That will be more for nonfiction. But how about creative writing? Well, if you have a student that loves creative writing and maybe poetry, then the Well-Trained Mind also has a curriculum called the Creative Writer. This is level 1, called 5-Finger Exercises. And this is going to begin to help a student understand what creative writing, what shapes creative writing, what steps are there in creative writing. There is some structure to poetry, and there is some structure to fiction and fable and different things like that. And so it's going to teach you how to write creatively. This is done independently too, so it's not something that I'll be doing with her. I'll probably be following along and just keeping track with what she's doing. But she will be reading week 1. It talks about plot points and what the purpose of having a plot is. And you're going to be reading passages and finding out what is the plot of this story. So and they're also classic pieces of literature. So they're going to be reading The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. A passage of it, several pages, and then it's going to be asking you to write down a 10-point plot summary and things like that. So this is going to be really interesting to see how this goes. I'm excited to try it, but we are going to be doing this for a creative writing portion, probably about 2 days a week this coming year. Writing with Ease will be 3 days a week, and first language lessons will be 4 days a week. And I still have to rework our schedule to see how I'm going to work all of that in. I also mentioned in another video about writing and rhetoric, and I love that program. That's by Academic Press. That would just be way too much to have all those writing curriculum in 1 year for my student. Although I love it, she probably would not love it. So we are going to be continuing through writing and rhetoric through our summer learning. So I will make a video about that later, but if you're wondering, well, I thought you were going to be doing writing with rhetoric from an old video, we are, but we're going to be continuing on with that through the summer months. They're not long books, so it doesn't take, if we were just doing that for writing, it wouldn't take a lot for a student to do it in the summer months, as well as the reading detective. We're going to be doing that also through the summer months. Penmanship, we've always been doing The Good and the Beautiful. And again, in another video, I mentioned that the Alviary has a different penmanship curriculum. So I'm going to take a look at that, and I'll compare them and see if we might want to choose that. So I haven't nailed down penmanship yet, but The Good and the Beautiful has just a simple cursive writing that's, easy, quick lessons. My daughter has always loved doing it. They have little drawing things, which to me is really nothing to do with penmanship, but it just gives them something fun to kind of look towards doing. That's some of her penmanship. But this is level 5, which she's already doing this year because she's just whipped through them. She thinks they're fun. She does them for fun sometimes. And so we'll just move on to the next level whenever she finishes this. So probably in grade 5, she'll be into level 6. But I may pick up something else. And I don't have the book here yet, but we always use spelling workout for her. So she would be in spelling workout level E or F, I think. And we'll just progress through those levels. It's just something, she's always been a good speller, so it's just a way for me to continue testing her on her spelling. She's learning a lot of spelling words just by her reading and writing, and I find she doesn't really need a spelling curriculum, but she likes to be tested having spelling words, so we continue with spelling workout for those purposes and just to let us both know that she's on track with her spelling. But that's about all I have for you. If there's anything here that you'd like to see a little bit closer, a flip through, I am going to be making some upcoming flip through videos in the very near future. And just to give you a closer look, some of the ones I've mentioned, there aren't any YouTube videos out there about it. So I'm really looking forward to reviewing this because I couldn't find anything about this on YouTube other than Susan Weiss Bauer actually just talking about it in a short. So I want to kind of present this and let other people know a little bit more about it. And writing with rhetoric as well, there's not a whole lot out there about it yet, so I am going to be doing a flip through on that probably in my next upcoming video. But I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.